So the recording has started. Nice footwork. And I should have said, Elaine, if you want to fiddle around at any point just to have me large rather than everybody else, there's really no need to, what am I saying? Look at what anyone else is doing. And that's just the same for you, Jackie. I'm just trying to get rid of me, but there we go. You can either try clicking on my picture and it might give you the option to pin, which make me large, or go to speaker view rather than gallery view. But anyway, footwork, while that's happening, just take one leg. Want to think about spreading the toes as wide as possible and putting them down on the mat. And to start with, we'll just think about lifting and lowering the big toe, getting that moving. If that's not working today, you can just pick your foot up and manually lift and lower the big toe until it wakes up. Trying to keep the other toes nice and wide and spread. They might not be particularly wide, and you can always have a hand loosely or lightly on the top of the lower joints. And after a few of those, you can start thinking about lifting the big toe, placing it down, lifting the other toes, keeping the big toe down, and alternating. So I was going to say randomly, all through the summer when we're used to wearing sandals and flip-flops, the muscles in our feet can either get over tensed if you're gripping, or spread nice and wide and stop working. So it's always good to take the focus to the feet and get all of those 100 and whatever muscles doing what they're supposed to do. Are you having much success at your end? Mine's very random. Yeah. Well, definitely as we age, it's really important to keep the feet strong. So if they're not doing what you ask, possibly something to build into a little daily routine, and then change and swap sides. So maybe focus starting off just holding and manually lifting and lowering the big toe on the other leg, getting to that point where it wakes up a bit. It often takes 10 to 20 goes for it to decide, yes, I will move and do what you want, and then spread the feet wide, place them down, and then just do some big toe lifts. And you might find one side the foot works as you want it to, and the other side not so much. It's the same with all of our bodies. We're all different. One side is dominant. And after a few of those, do that alternating. So lifting the 4 other toes, keeping the big toe down, and keeping those toes down and lifting the big toe. And yeah, absolutely. You can have a little hand on the front of the leg, the toes, to give it a little help along the way. And just a few more of these. And it's back to the big toe. So you're going to lift and spread the toes in the air, keep them up, hopefully you can see against the mat, and then tap down with the big toe. And you want to think about the big toe coming straight down. So if there's any sort of bunion forming or hammer toe, which I've got ever so slightly on my right leg, you want to think about trying to straighten the big toe. So again, you can have a little aid with the finger just to pull it out. And about 10 taps. And you probably feel the muscles up the side of your ankles and underneath your foot starting to ache a little bit as well. After 10 of those, change feet and see what happens there. So lift and spread the toes as wide as you can. Oh, I've just burst a dream. I dreamt I broke my toe last night. How weird. I must have been channeling class. And it was grown really long, you know, like E.T.'s finger. It was massive. Oh dear. So again, trying to keep the big toe tapping down as straight as you can. So if you need to put a finger in to help, do that. Bizarrely hard work. Just a couple more. And then we can move on to the base of our foot. So this is where we place the foot down, lift, spread the toes, place them down, and then imagine you're drawing the mat towards you just with the front, the pads of your foot at the front. So you're trying to lift the arch of your foot, not scrunching the toes, just keeping them nice and flat. So thinking the big toe and little toe narrowing in together and drawing back towards the heel, hold it for a count of 5, and then loosen off and relax. I don't know if anything's happening on the screen for you. Work in progress. Again, this is great to help stave off plantar fasciitis and general foot and toe strength. So trying to keep the toes flat, think about drawing them towards each other and back to the heel. So 2 more on this foot. And if it's uncomfy sitting, Jackie, you can always stand. Final time. And then after your last one, change sides. So start, lift the toes, spread them as wide as you can, not going anywhere, place them down, and then think big toe and little toe joints narrowing together and drawing the mat back towards the heel. And release. So again, trying to keep as flat as you can through the front of the toes. And you should be feeling that arch, at least waking up, even if it doesn't raise very high. That comes with practice. Because as with any muscle group, they need working. So spreading nice and wide, flattening, drawing the big toe and little toe together and back towards the heel. Ever so strong, this pull, I feel. And just do 2 more on this side, and we should have done roughly the same amount on both legs. And then final time. Good. All right. Can lie down now, nice and calmly. Knees bent up, feet hip width apart. You can have a head block for comfort for the first bit if you want, and then take it away. So think about the back of your ribs finding the mat, base of your pelvis, tailbone, pubic bone reaching away. Allow the shoulders to widen, soften. And we'll take a few breaths in this position. And you want to direct the breath up through the head, through your nose, and into the back of your body. So you can engage the abdominals through that tummy button to spine, and then exhale all the air out. Breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs, feeling the backs of your ribs expand across the mat. And then exhaling every last drop of air out through slightly pursed lips, feeling that extra engagement from the tummy button to pubic bone. And again, breathing in through the nose, keeping the shoulders down away from your ears, just nicely placed on the mat, and exhaling. And then we can lightly cross our arms. So we're holding either at wrist level, you can hold at your fingers or elbows. And as you breathe in, you're going to take them across to tap down to one side without lifting the shoulders too much off the floor. You're trying to get a nice stretch through the back of the shoulders. And so that's why one side might be tighter than the other. And what you can do if you find you're tight is even hold something so you can focus very much on keeping the shoulders onto the mat, and gradually increase the stretch. Use your breath, so breathing in to tap down one side, breathing out, tummy button to spine. Use your abs to help bring the shoulders back up, or the arms back up across the chest. And make sure there's some nice length in your neck and away from the upper shoulders. Elaine, I'm sorry, I can just see your knees rather than you. That's it, thank you, that's better. Good, keep breathing in through the nose, breathing out, engaging through the abs, draw the arms back and over to the other side. And this time as you tap down to one side, keeping the ribs down on the mat, take the arms up towards your head, circling round, tapping down the other side and back over your chest. And then reversing the direction, breathing in to tap down on one side, circling up, around and over, tapping down the other side and centering. Again, trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Quite hard work, reversing the direction each time. You might want to loosen that grip to give yourself more space to move. Very much depends how flexible your shoulders are, and all the time keeping those ribs drawing down towards the pelvis. So you're engaging the abdominals and not arching the back, trying to keep the back nice and strong. That's it, it's looking good. One more in each direction. And then when you're done, come back, arms by your side, or take your head block away if you're using one, or a cushion, and we'll do the pelvic tilts. So breath in nice and wide, prepared, breathing out, tummy button to spine, just to lift and hover the bottom off the mat, curling the pubic bone towards you, and then placing yourself back down. Breathing out, really use those abs to move the pelvis. And trying to keep the knees as still as possible. The shoulders still nice and wide and placed. Base of the shoulder blades, you feel them earthed onto the mat. Gradually, gradually go a little higher each time. But the real focus today is trying to get that precision, slow, slow, slow movements to be in control of what your spine is doing. Strengthening through the abdominals, through the obliques. And it also then works the hip flexors, back extensors. Breathing out to curl up piece by piece. So remember, work through the lower back, middle back, then upper back. Little breath at the top, and then think softening through the chest to place yourself down again. And bring the arms into it as well as we go this time. Sorry, squeaky pad on my reformer. Breathing out. Peeling up. Breathe in, lift the arms to the ceiling. Breathing out, soften through the chest. Place the upper back first, middle back. Really drawing the abdominals, so the lower back. Make contact with the mat. Then flatten out, and if you want to, circle the arms around by your side, ready to breathe out, peeling off lower, middle, upper back. Reaching, reaching for the ceiling as you breathe in, and breathing out, soften. Nice and slow, 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 slow. Really work hard to get the lower back onto the mat if you can. Keeping the ribs down, circle the arms around. And one more time, breathing out, peeling off. That's it. Keeping the curl in the pubic bone, reaching for the ceiling as you breathe in, breathing out, soften. Slowly, slowly, slowly peeling down. Keeping the arms where they are. Widen the shoulders, place them back on the mat, palms face away. And then we'll take one arm behind our head, stretch one leg away for our lovely arm and leg slides. Tummy button to spine to bring everything back to center. Again, trying to keep the knees as stable as you can when they're not working. Trying to feel some relaxation through the shoulder joint, and everything's held rock solid through the lower abdominals. That's it. So you can either slide along the floor or have a little hover, depending how you're feeling, but make sure those arms are nicely placed in the shoulder joint. Your tummy button is drawing through the body, nailing your back to the mat. That's looking lovely and controlled. Good. Fabulous. So breathing in to extend, breathing out, really drawing the tummy button to use those abs to pull the arm and leg back. One more on each side. Keeping the ribs down still. Lovely. And then when you've finished your last one, take a moment to breathe, consolidate. Arms can come down by your sides. And we're going to roll over onto our fronts. So feel free to have a pad under your forehead or just use your hands. We're going to start very simply, separate your legs ever so slightly, and sometimes it's nicer just to turn the toes out so you're resting on those big toe joints. Think about the tailbone reaching away. Relax everything, just sink into the mat, and we'll focus on our bum squeezing or glute squeezing. So as you breathe out, you want to think about the hip bones drawing into the body to meet the spine, or imagine you're holding onto a 50-pound note. Nice count of 10, 100% effort, and then relax. So breathing out without shifting the back, you want to think squeezing the bum and trying to loosen any tension in the shoulder area still. And release. So 100% effort squeeze for a count of 10. So you shouldn't be pushing into the mat with your pelvis. There should be no arching or shifting, wiggling. It's just the bum doing that work. All of this helps strengthen the hips and the back and the lower leg, or the backs of the legs, which take the effort out of the knee area and strengthen all the smaller muscles around. And was one of the exercises given to my mother. And it's good because I can really see a difference as you work 100% squeezing that, and then make sure there's the relaxation in between. Do 2 more. So 100% effort to squeeze, and really consciously think those hip bones are squeezing in towards each other to really isolate the glutes rather than the rest of the body. And then final time. And after your last one, readjust your legs so they're still separated ever so slightly, but you're resting on the front of your feet again. So you might need to wiggle the thighs so you're fully parallel. And we'll do our hamstring curls. Nice and simply, 50% squeeze of the bum before you start, shoulders relaxed, drawing down your back. Allow the foot to relax and just draw it in towards the bottom and extend away. And just breathe. I don't mind whether you want to breathe in to bend and out to extend. One of each, nice and slowly. And take a moment to think about the tracking of where your foot is going. The heel should be aiming towards the middle line of your bottom. I don't need your foot to reach your bum. It's just that thought. So nice and slow. So the bum is squeezing 50%. That's it. And try with the flexed foot this time. So consciously flex the foot so the sole of the foot is reaching for the ceiling. See if that makes a difference. Good. One more on each side. And then we're going to focus on the right leg. So same as we quite often do, we're going to bend the knee, hover the knee, extend the leg away and place it down. So bend, still on the right leg, lift, extend, and down. Bend and hover, extend away, place it down. Hover, extend, and down. And keep going, same leg. A little bit slower, Elaine. Try to keep the front of the hips on the mat as well. So really focus on the back of the leg doing the work. That's it. So it might be a much smaller movement than feel you can do. Really trying to isolate the hamstring area. That's it. Lovely. I think you've got 2 more. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. All that work's happening in the lower leg. Good. And then change sides when you've done the last one. So focus 50% squeeze, and then you can just bend the knee in, hover the knee off the mat, extend the leg away, and place it down. And bend. And hover, extend, and down. And bend, and hover, extend, and down. Good. Bend, and hover, extend, down, and bend, and hover, extend, and down, and bend, and hover. Hopefully you're tiring. Extend, and down, and bend, and hover, extend, and down. 2 more. Bend, and hover, extend. Good. And down. Final time. Bend, and hover, extend, and down. Brilliant. That was looking really lovely and controlled. Staying where you are. If you need to sit back and release the back, do. Otherwise, arms down by your sides, palms facing the ceiling, legs still slightly separated. Allow the shoulders just to hang forward towards the mat. We will do our arrow. So breathing in, lift the shoulders. Breathing out, slide them down the back. Start the lift of the body into that long arrow. Breathing in, rotate at the shoulders, thumbs to the ceiling. And breathing out, place yourself down. Allow the shoulders to fall forward again. Breathing in to lift. Breathe out, reach, 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 and hover the arms. Breathing in, thumbs to the ceiling as you rotate. And breathing out, placing yourself down. Shoulders fall forward. Breathing in to lift. Breathing out, reach. So they draw down your back. Rotate and lift and hover. And place yourself down. Good. Breathing in, lift the shoulders. Breathe out. Slide them down to hover the arms. Breathing in to rotate. And breathing out to place yourself down. Good. And again, breathe in, lift the shoulders. Breathe out, reach and hover. Rotate. And down. 2 more. Breathe in, lift the shoulders. Breathe out, reach them down your back. Rotate the arms as you breathe in. And breathe out, place yourself down. 1 more. Breathing in to lift. Breathing out, reach and hover. Breathe in to rotate. And breathe out, place yourself down. Fabulous. Arms swing round in front of you if your shoulders are happy. Separate the legs a little bit more. Squeeze the bum to hover the legs. Squeeze the tummy button. Draw the shoulders down to hover the arms and swimming. So tapping down, opposite arm and leg. Keep breathing, keeping the body stable. Think crown of the head reaching away. And if you want to, gradually increase the speed as long as you find that your body is held nice and securely. If it's too much today, you can bend the elbows and just do arms with a bent elbow, or just focus on legs or focus on arms. Keeping up in that hover, that's brilliant. And I'm going to count you down. Keep at your pace for 10, 9, 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4. Straight legs, crown of the head. 3, and 2, and 1, and relax. Fabulous. Sit back into a big child pose if you've got any tension in the lower back. So feet together, bum to heels, reaching forward, stretching out the back, really directing the breath into the lower back area. And then we're coming up to a nice sitting position, seated adductors, so inner thighs. I'm going to have to take one foot to the floor, but you can sit with your legs wide, and to help your back, you can sort of sit back on your arms. Slightly soften the knee, heel to the ground, and what we're aiming to do is take our focus to the inner thigh and use that inner thigh. Imagine you've got a string on it, and it's coming across your body. If you've got any hip issues, don't take it across the body and tell me, and then just sweep it out. So you've got to turn your toe out. Think you're drawing from the inner thigh way across the body, so the rest of the leg doesn't move, it just moves because the inner thigh is pulling it across. And you should soon start to feel some real work in that area. So keeping the toe turned out, dragging the leg across the midline of the body, and then taking it back out to the side. So it works for hips as well, but a real focus is getting on the inner thigh, doing the work for you. So yeah, it's not the most comfy position at all. It's quite intense. That's it. So Elaine, keep the toe turning outwards throughout. So you might, again, anyone who does this, it's quite challenging because we all try and just turn the leg in as it comes in. But it's keeping the toe and the leg rotated outwards that makes the work effective. That's it. So a couple more on this leg and then we'll change sides. Sorry, Jackie, I can tell you're not liking this one. So keep the heel on the floor, slowly, slowly, slowly drag it across the body. That's it. And then if you want to, shake the legs and then reset yourself up to the other side. So keeping the leg turned out at the hip and the heel on the floor, slight bend in the knee. Imagine you're pulling from a string from the inner thigh, slowly, slowly, slowly dragging that leg across. And I feel it all across the hip and the inner thigh area, and sweep the leg back round again. So draw it, draw it, draw it, keeping the toe turned out, keeping the leg turned out. That's it. So you can lengthen the leg a little bit further, Elaine, as well. You've got the movement there really well. It's the refining of the technique, which takes a while, because it's not an exercise we do very often. And again, same with all the exercises. One side might be easier and feel more effective than the other. But it's good to notice these things. That's it. So keep the toes turned out. That's it, Jackie. Good. Good. 2 more on this side, nice and slow. That's what gets the muscles working. And then another subtle one. So this is where either roll the mat up or bung a cushion under, above the knee, under the knee, but just above the knee area. Oh, God, I can't see me very well. And what we're going to do is allow the leg to be flat. You do need some height, so probably, depending how good your mat is, you might be better with a cushion, to be fair. So you're going to have the leg heavy on the cushion or mat, and then think about drawing the knee up the thigh to lift the lower leg. So we're not moving the whole leg, slightly bent over the cushion, thinking about drawing the knee up the thigh to lift the lower leg. Again, it's very subtle. And the muscle we're targeting is your medialis oblique, so the inner muscle on the front of the thigh muscles by the knee. And that's the one that draws the lower leg up as you straighten the leg. So you don't want to lift the leg off the cushion. Just allow the leg to be really heavy, then think about the knee sliding up the thigh to lift the lower leg. So you want to keep the whole leg on the cushion, pressing down a little bit. That's it. So what you can do, if you can reach, is put a hand on the knee or towards the knee and just think about pulling it up a little bit. So you're keeping the whole leg nice and heavy. You're just trying to lift the lower leg independently. That's it, Elaine. That's it. And it's very, very subtle movement. Again, it's powerful the more we do, and the stronger those muscles get. That's it, Jackie, good. 2 more. So you don't need to move the leg very much, just allow the lower leg to lift and lower. Then when you've done your last one, change sides and see how that feels. So make sure the cushion's placed above the knee joint. So there's slight bend in the knee, and then you're thinking about just pulling up on the knee to lift the lower leg and placing it down. Really small. So I guess it's like you're kicking a football, but you're not going for goal. You're just kicking it to a toddler. So again, Elaine, keep that leg where it is on the cushion. Think about the knee sliding up the thigh, so the leg stays on the cushion. And just think about the lower leg lifting up, so the heel lifting off the floor. So you're trying, what can I say? Think about just straightening the leg, basically. So if the heel's on the floor, there's bend in the knee, straighten the leg without lifting. That's better, yes. Oh, I so want to be in person. I could tweak everybody. You're doing really well. That's it. Do 2 more. Don't lift the leg alone. That's better. Good, good, good. And then again, you can come to sitting, lose the cushion, and very simply back on one leg. Working the ankle, point and flex. Really simply, so as big a motion as you can make it. Keeping the rest of the leg straight. All the time as we're sitting, we're thinking that our abs are working, shoulders wide, so we're not just thinking, we're actively engaged in what our body's doing. She says having to work hard at that. And trying not to do anything with the toes, so it is simply at the ankle. That's it. And two more. And then you can change sides and see how the other leg feels. So re-engage, strong back, strong abs. And just bend and extend. So the focus, I guess, is on the heel pressing away and the heel drawing underneath the leg. So we've all got some, I don't know what you call it, bend or whatever in the foot, but I'm not pointing my toes, I'm not flexing them to draw them back. It's the toes are just in their natural position and it's the heel doing the work, so to speak. Or the ankle is doing the work, but the heel is leading. And some lovely stretching through the back of the leg and through the sides and front of the shins. And just one more. Relax and shuffle back down again. You can have the head block or cushion behind you if you want for comfort. And we will work on our chest lift. So hands behind the head, nice placement of the back of the body, ribs down, abs engaged, breathing out, press the head into the hands. Think about the feet firmly into the mat and perhaps drawing into the body a little bit more and breathing to come back down. So the more you press the feet into the mat and imagine you're drawing the heels closer to the bum, I've got more work through the back of my legs as well. All the time trying to keep those ribs down, sliding them towards the hips. Knitting together. Make sure you don't pull on your head. Your head is pressing into your hands. Your elbows are nice and wide. That's it, lovely. So keeping the bum down. Keeping the abs drawing through the body into the mat behind. Breathing out to curl up. Breathing in to place yourself back. Two more. Lovely. And we'll do our obliques. So from here, what I'd like you to do is rotate, take the back elbow behind you and lift the opposite leg. And extend it away as you come back. Keep it up. So you might not come back fully to the mat with your upper body. You can stay curled up, but sort of straighten and center, and then rotate. So same leg. So breathing out to rotate and curl up. Breathing in to extend the leg away and come back to center. Two more. That's it. Final one. And place yourself down, place the foot down and change to the other side. So rotate first, back elbow comes behind you, lifting the knee. And then as you center, you can extend the leg away and rotate high, trying to reach the knee with the armpit that's rotating. Tummy button, nailing yourself back. Breathing out. Hopefully, you should be feeling a nice shake of work. That's it. Think still the ribs are sliding down, so there's no arch in the back. Breathing out to curl forward. Breathing in to extend back. Try not to pull on the neck still. Keep the head heavy in the hands. 3 more. That's it. Lovely. Good. Final one. Just hug your knees in. Have a little rock from side to side if you need to. And then let's roll over onto our side. And we'll do leg work. So if you want the cushion or a pad between your head and your long arm, feel free. Think about the underneath waist, drawing away from the mat, long through the top of your body, and double leg lift. So breathing out, lift and hover. Breathing in, place yourself down. Try not to rock too much. Make sure you can see the legs out of the corner of your eye so they don't come behind you when you lift and pull your back. So breathing out. And if you need a hand in front for balance, do that. That's it, lovely. And it's the thought of the inner thigh again, doing the work of the lifting of the legs. That's it. Nice and slow. No need to come up too high with the upper body if you are lifting. It's like the arrow, nice and long and low, thinking the crown of the head reaching away. Good. That's it, lovely both, really nice. Two more. Final one. And then lifting the top leg to hip height, lift and lower the underneath leg. So again, hand loosely in front if you need to, or just along the side. And yet again, it's the inner thigh we're thinking about lifting and lowering, so there's no bend in the legs. Underneath waist is still lifting away from the mat. Upper body is as relaxed as it can be. That's it. You're having to hold that top leg up at hip height. And squeeze it up as you breathe out, breathing in, placing the bottom leg down. And two more. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. Keep the top leg up where it is. You can keep the lower leg on the mat. And then 2 taps down with the top leg. Take it behind, tap down. So you're trying to keep it long and straight. And taking the leg as high as you can without moving the body in the middle. So just depends how flexible we are on the hips. Me not so. And trying to keep the body as straight as you can, allowing that leg to move in the hip joint independently. That's it, lovely. Oh, jealous. Both do this so easily. That's it. So all the time, the knees pointing forwards, which it is on both of you. Great. One more to the front. One more to the back. And then roll over and work on the other side. So starting with the double leg lift. Set yourselves up for success. Think about the underneath waist, drawing up away from the mat. Shoulder over shoulder. And then when you're ready to go, just lift and hover and come back down. Breathing out. I'm thinking, I'm really wobbly today. I wonder why. I think I'm terrified of falling off. That's it, good. That's it, Jackie, lovely. And always a reminder, if you get any tension in the neck, just turn your head to look at the mat. Keeping the legs glued together and the focus on the inner thigh of the underneath leg, doing the heavy lifting. That's it. And two more. Final time. And then lift the top leg to hip height, keep it there. And then lift and lower the underneath leg. Keeping shoulders relaxed, hands in front for balance if you need it, or along the thigh. Legs nice and straight. If you think top leg really reaching away, imagine someone pulling it away from you. Lovely. Good. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed and no tensions creeping in. The more we do, the harder it is to maintain. Two more. Keeping that top leg nice and high and long. Final time. And then our lovely hot potato. So take the leg up, 2 taps in front, up, 2 taps behind. Keeping the knee pointing forward, keeping the toes where they are so they don't point downwards, just straight. All the work happening in the hip joint. Tummy button drawing in, underneath waist drawing up, shoulders drawing down. Everything going on. That's it, gorgeous. Oh, so nice. That's it, lovely. 2 more sets. And once you're done, roll over onto your back, knees bent up again. Feet not too close to the bum, just slightly further away, nothing behind your head. So you're going to bridge. Again, focus very much on the bum and the hamstrings, obviously. So narrowing in at the waist, breathing out, lift. And breathing in, 1 karate chop back down again. So a few standard ones just to set yourselves up. Feet nice and flat on the mat, shoulders relaxed. All the effort, narrowing and squeezing at the bum. Keeping the knees aiming towards the toes. Oh, well placed, Amber. And then this time, narrow, squeeze and lift. And we're going to lift one leg up to the ceiling, but with a bent knee. Focus, imagine your carrying a nice glass of wine on your pelvis so it stays stable, and you'll do 10 lift and lowers on that standing leg. So you keep the leg up, keep it off the floor so the knees are at 45 degrees, and you're just lifting and lowering the bum. That's it. I think 2 and 1. Place the foot down, change sides. So narrow squeeze and lift. Focus on knees going over towards the toes and lift the other leg off the floor. Keep it there. And we're just sending the bum down and up all the time, trying to keep the hips level. So if it takes thinking about a glass of Prosecco or something, balanced on the hip area, use that, or a cup of tea, nice glass of water for those holier than me. It's hard work trying to maintain the integrity of the movement. Oh, I've lost count, so let's do 2 more. And 1. Just hug your knees in for a moment. So I think I've got 1 more set of new ones. So yeah. So back to the first side. Bend the knee in. Oh, someone at the door. So what I want you to do is lift and extend the leg, bend the knee and place yourself down. So lift, extend, bend it in and down. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I'm teaching. Thank you. Sample tile for our bathroom. How you getting on? Change sides. So lift, extend, and down. So lift on the standing leg, stretch the bent leg away, bend it in, and come back down. That's it. Nearly there. Make this your last one. Relax. And we'll have to stretch out because I cannot believe the hour has gone already. So we've done a lot of leg work and bum work today. So we will stretch those. Hug one knee in, coming to sitting if you can. Sorry, yeah, sitting up. And we're going to hug the knee with the same arm as knee and just turn round. And just keep breathing. And if you're not feeling anything in that bum area, you can try a different way. Cross the knee over, pull it towards you and turn in away from the knee, which I find actually today that is a lot better stretch for me. So both options. Then unpeel. We'll start with the first one. Just draw the knee into the chest on the other leg, hug it and turn away from the leg. This also releases the hip flexor at the front of the thigh. And then turn the other way. So hug with the knee with the opposite arm and rotate the other way. And just deeply breathe. And then we've done a lot of work with the inner thighs today. So simple stretch for there. Think about bringing the soles of the feet together and pressing, if necessary, with the elbows, just to find a little bit of stretch if you can through the inner thighs. If that's really, really uncomfortable on your back, simple one, you lose most of me, is just lunging over until you feel a stretch in the inner thigh there. And again, breathe into that stretch. And if your knees are feeling all right, just come to kneeling, stretch out the front of the thighs by just reaching back. If you can have your hands flat on the floor, the hands go away from you. But again, same thing, standing. It's this one, or if you can't hold that, you can just rest against a sofa. And change sides if you're doing one leg at a time. That's it. Then hamstrings, obviously work the back of our leg. So good way to do that. If you've got sofa there, you can just put your leg up on. Think reaching forward. So bending at the hips and sending your upper body up and towards your toes should really focus on the back of the thigh from the above the knee up towards the bottom. And again, think about the breath going into that muscle area, gradually standing and changing sides. And if you're using height, think about bending forward from the hips, stretching forward. And then coming to standing. And finish just with a little side bend, might as well. So slide an arm down the leg. If you're happy, reach the other arm up and overhead. Up underneath, arm comes up. Tummy button the spine to come and stand. Think really, really tall. Open the arms and go the other way. Final time. Sliding down. Find that stretch up the side of the body. Top arm overhead. Underneath arm comes up to reach it. Tummy button to stand nice and tall. Press down to find your full height in the day. Brilliant. Well done indeed. I will turn off the recording.